Hello and welcome back. This week, I am. I want to bring some awareness to what might be happening internally for you. And when I say that, I realize and fully understand that not everybody is the same. And some of this may resonate, some may not. But given that I know my community pretty well, I feel like a lot of these, whether they're true or real for you right now, if they're not, they will have been in the past. So let's look at some subtle signs that you might be avoiding what's actually going on. And when I say what's going on, I mean internally. What's going on for you? What's happening? What are you avoiding? Like what needs to be brought to life, present, whatever it is that you're avoiding. The first one is you stay busy but never feel deeply fulfilled. On the outside, your life looks full. You're productive, you're successful, you're responsible. You're one of those people that everyone looks at and thinks, oh, they've got it all together. You're getting shit done, you're showing up, you're being reliable. But then underneath that, there is this disconnection, a state of, you know, what's the point? And maybe you notice that you are constantly filling your schedule or you're struggling to sit still without reaching for your phone. It's a big one in my community. You might feel uncomfortable in stillness or silence, or you're always focusing on what's next. What's the next goal? What's the next problem to fix? What's the next task to do? What's next? There's never that full presence and groundedness in the moment. And we probably all know that busyness is a really effective way to avoid feeling. If you're busy, you don't have time to feel, right? Because when you slow down, there's nowhere to hide. It's why a lot of people, I believe, struggle to meditate because there's nowhere to hide. Once they switch their mind off, everything gets brought to life. Autopilot, this is an autopilot response. It keeps you moving so you don't ever fully meet yourself, right? Avoidance doesn't always look like procrastination. Sometimes it's hyper productivity. The second one, you feel flat, numb, or fine most of the time. Not sad, not happy, just fine, good, that really neutral, impartial, whatevs. And this emotional neutrality can actually be a protective response from your nervous system, especially if you've experienced trauma or if you have something going on that might feel quite energetically large. Your nervous system might be like, oh, I don't know whether we want to feel this right now. So let's just like tone it down a bit. Let's just not overexert ourselves. So your nervous system is there to keep you in a really, I guess, controlled, steady state. It's almost like this emotionally muted state. It's like we're here, we're fine, but we're not going to feel too much either end of the spectrum. And we're just going to go about our day. And you might notice that you're struggling to access excitement or joy or fun, or you're not reacting strongly to things that you feel matter, things that matter to you or you think should matter. You just don't really have an attachment to them. You might feel disconnected from your own desires. You might say, I don't know. And that's how you feel. Or you might do the standard, I'm good, I'm fine, you know? And this isn't because you don't have feelings, not at all. Everybody has feelings. It's because your nervous system has learned how to suppress them, how to protect you by blocking the emotions. The problem with this is when we block what we deem as negative emotions, they're not positive or negative, right? But when we block or don't want to feel a certain way one way, we also limit how much we can feel on the other end of the spectrum. So if you're telling yourself, I can't feel too sad, you're also saying, well, I can't actually feel too happy either. Autopilot is keeping you predictable. And it might be one of the reasons why people around you, celebrate you because they're like, oh, they're just, always the same. You always know what you're going to get, which can be good and it can be really, really bad, right? Feeling deeply can introduce uncertainty, especially if you're not used to it. So, if you notice that you're not feeling and you're not embracing or unlocking or understanding your feelings, you're on autopilot. The third, you avoid making decisions that would move you forward. You avoid those things that you're like, if I said yes to this would just change my life. You're not doing it. So, this can show up as staying in a relationship that doesn't truly fulfill you, staying in jobs that drain you or again aren't fulfilling or exciting, not pursuing dreams that really matter to you, or waiting until you feel more ready or more confident. Avoidance often disguises itself as logic. I just need more time. It's not the right moment. I'll do it later. There's something more important. Oh, that's okay. I'll get to it. There's too much going on right now. Change would just unsettle me. And it makes sense, right? It's logic. It's like, okay, I get it. But underneath that is often fear because making aligned decisions requires you to face your truth. And truth creates change. Once you know something, you can't unknow it. It's the same as the first time you heard that little voice, that little niggle telling you that you were meant for more, that there was more to life than what you currently have. You might have been brushed it off. You might still be brushing it off. But once you hear it, you can't unhear it. It doesn't go away. Again, autopilot keeps things familiar, even when familiar isn't fulfilling. Right? How many people have stayed in jobs or relationships or friendships or done things that they just do because you do, but you don't actually enjoy? The fourth point, you constantly distract yourself from your inner world. Hands up if you're guilty of this one. And this might look like reaching for your phone the second there's a quiet moment, or maybe you're watching something and you're still on your phone as well. You might always be listening to something, podcast, music, TV, whatever it is. You might be going for a walk, but you have to have music, or doing something around the house and you have to have the TV on, going to sleep and you have to have noise in the background. Scrolling, getting doom scrolling, getting sucked into the vortex without even realizing you picked up your phone. Or you pick up your phone to do something and then notice that 10 minutes has gone by and you've forgotten what you picked up your phone for initially. Or you might very obviously avoid time alone with your thoughts. You refuse to journal, you refuse to meditate, you refuse to be by yourself. All of these, it's not about the phone. It's not about you avoiding yourself. It's about avoiding what might surface when there are no distractions. Silence creates space. Space allows truth to come forward. It's why most people, if they're in the shower or if they're meditating or, doing something very much subconsciously, they have these moments of, oh no, you need to do this, or like this voice or this wisdom. It's why breath work is so powerful because there's no hiding, right? You cannot hide from the truth that comes through when you're in those states. And potentially your nervous system learned, or you learned, that stillness isn't safe because historically, when you were still, when you're alone with yourself, that was when you felt pain most strongly. Again, autopilot keeps your attention externally focused. Right? It's like, okay, we're not going inside. We're just going to do all of these things. So I'm not worrying about me. It's autopilot. 5, you tell yourself, oh, I love this one. This is just how life is. This is one of the most powerful and obvious signs of autopilot. You've normalized feeling tired, feeling disconnected, feeling unfulfilled, feeling like something is missing. But you don't question it. You just accept it. You assume that this is adulthood, or this is the season of life you're in, or this is responsibility, or this is reality. This belief protects you from disappointment. It's keeping you in your comfort zone and it is hurting you. Because if you don't believe more is possible, you don't have to risk anything trying, right? And if you don't risk anything, by trying something new, you're not going to be hurt. Sarcasm intended, right? Autopilot convinces you that survival's enough. Survival is not enough. It has served a purpose and a point in your life, but you don't need to live that way anymore. Deep down, there is a part of you that knows that you are meant for more than just getting through life. And I know that because you would not be listening to this podcast if you didn't believe that. So, they're my 5 big takeaways for this episode. And I just want to share like, avoidance isn't weakness, right? It's not. There's nothing wrong with you. What's happening is you're protecting yourself. Your nervous system, your internal landscape has learnt at some point that feeling fully, being seen, or fully choosing something new, choosing yourself, isn't safe. So it adapted. It introduced autopilot, and autopilot has helped you survive. But what helped you survive in the past is now preventing you from living fully. Awareness is the first step of autopilot because you can't change what you're not conscious of. If you don't know it to be true, you can't do anything about it. And if you're listening to this and thinking, wow, I didn't realize how much I've been avoiding, or I didn't realize how much I've been normalizing feeling flat or tired or numb, or I didn't realize that I've been surviving instead of actually living, I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not alone. There are so many people who are living the same way, and I have as well. And if you're ready to gently step off autopilot, switch gears, if you're ready to understand why your nervous system learned to cope this way, and more importantly, how to start reconnecting to your vision, your desires, and your dreams, I have something for you. On the 4th of March, I'm hosting a free masterclass. Stop living on autopilot and start living your vision. We're going to spend 75 minutes together, and I'm going to walk you through why autopilot is often a trauma response, how your nervous system keeps you stuck in survival mode, the subtle ways you might be disconnecting from what you truly want, and the first steps to start creating change in a way that feels safe and sustainable. Obviously, what is safe for you will differ to other people, but that is why we have these, so we can talk about it. This workshop isn't about blowing your life up overnight or changing everything in a day, right? It is about awareness. It's about understanding yourself. It's about understanding your patterns, programming, conditioning, and coming home to you. So if you're listening to this episode and you're like, oh, I feel seen, I feel really called out, maybe there's something more to this. Or maybe there's a part of you that's being like, oh, you need to listen to this. Like, let's change. Let's do things differently. The link to sign up and register for the masterclass on the 4th is in the show notes below. Okay. Please come and join us. It is free. If nothing else, you get to spend 75 minutes with incredible people learning more or being reminded of what truly matters. So I would love to have you there. Again, the show notes, the link to register is in the show notes below, and you won't be able to join if you don't register. So make sure you do that, and I will see you on the 4th.